Welcome back. We're in the garage again. And this time, we're talking about motor oil. Recently, I have learned something new about a subject that's not new. It's been around for decades, centuries. But there was more to the story than I realized. So I've been watching the YouTube channel. I try to keep myself informed on what's going on in the automotive world, especially when it comes to engine performance. There's this guy, the Oil Geek. It popped up on my feed a couple of weeks ago, so off and on I've been watching his videos. Of course, I watch a lot of Project Farm, and recently I've also been watching Ford Boss. Don't always agree with them, but they make some very good points. Very good. For instance, Ford Boss had a video where he was talking about additive packages, and he was saying that the Mobil 1 is weak compared to Valvoline. He also expressed that Pennzoil had a better additive package than Valvoline. I know he's a professional, but my consumer experience was that the Pennzoil was kind of lacking. But at that time, I assumed that, I had to go back to the shop. I had to use whatever they gave me. And they put that sticker on there that says Pennzoil, and it tells you what mileage your vehicle has to be at when it's time to get it serviced again. Well, since that time, I've learned how to change my own oil. Now, I know a lot of times companies will go back and improve on their formula, come out with a new formula. Like, for instance, Pennzoil, Pennzoil has really been working. They have the regular Pennzoil, they have a Pennzoil Platinum, and they have a Pennzoil Ultra Platinum. Okay. You go ahead, Pennzoil. I ain't mad at you. So they definitely been on their game. But in recent years, so has Valvoline. They've come out with Restore and Protect. So the old bottle, I don't know if I can get that in this shot because one is gigantic and the other one is small. But the old bottle says premium full synthetic extended protection. And the new bottle says premium full synthetic restore and protect. So I feel like, hold on a minute. Okay, I managed to get it in the shot. So the old bottle says premium full synthetic extended protection, and the new bottle says premium full synthetic restore and protect. So I'm thinking, as good as people felt Valvoline was already, they went back to the formula and they tweaked it so that it would do more of what it was already doing. Some people might say, oh, well, it's a brand new. No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. If you already got something good, why would you completely destroy it and then start all over? No, there's a thing called foundation. You have to have a strong foundation if you're going to build a building. So, I feel like they've used the old premium full synthetic, the extended protection, as their foundation. Maybe took some stuff out, added some stuff, took some stuff and lessened it, didn't put as much, took another element and increased it. Like some of the stuff that I've heard related to oil strength, additive packages, zinc, boron, what's another? Calcium. There's a couple of them. I can't remember them off the hand, but these things play a major part in the oil being able to protect and clean the engine parts, the valves, the pistons, the cylinder walls. Now, on my older Malibu, I had issues with Valvoline. For some reason, it was burning. It wasn't burning like it was smelling like the engine was going to catch fire, but it was burning like towards the end of my oil use. Near time to change my oil, I'd have to put in another quart of oil. And if I drove heavily for those few months, I'd end up putting in 2 quarts of oil. Not at the same time, but it was more like I put in a quart of oil, then a couple of weeks later I got to put in another quart of oil. Like, what the heck? Why am I going through all this extra oil? Why won't it last? And I thought about it. I was like, well, if I changed the oil more frequently, I wouldn't have to put extra oil in there. But I don't want to change the oil more frequently because the way my lifestyle is set up at that time, I'm only able to get to it after 5,000 miles, way after 5,000 miles. So I might as well just go ahead and wait 10,000 miles and then change it. So they got oil for that. They definitely got oil for that. So then I start experimenting with other brands of oil, cheap oil, more expensive oil. What's the difference between the oils? So in my research, I'm finding that there's a such thing as an additive package, thanks to Ford Boss and the Oil Geek. Ford Boss explained it. He explained the numbers. But then when I listened to the Oil Geek, he's explaining the numbers, but then he's telling you how they got to those numbers. They added this product, and then they added this element, and this element is supposed to do this, and this element is supposed to do that, and then they had to lower this, increase this, add a third element so everything could combine together. And I'm sitting there like, I never knew. I've learned something new today. And what blew my mind was I was watching a video. I couldn't sleep, so I just turned on YouTube He's talking about oil additives, and he's mentions that some oils work better in certain engines. And I'm like, huh? Now, of course, he explains all this. So what I'm getting out of it is that you pick an oil, you put it in your vehicle, other people swear by that oil. It's the best thing going. But you have a lousy experience. The materials that they use to build the engine do not play nice with certain oils. Because remember, these oils are in your vehicle and they're heating up. So the engine is reacting to all this hot liquid that's running around. And then I thought about my own personal experience. I've used Valvoline in the past. I didn't have a problem. It wasn't until I got to the Chevy that I had the problem. And then I'm like, wait a minute. It didn't hit me. All this time, it didn't hit me until I started listening to the Oil Geek. When I was using the Valvoline in the past, I was using it on Dodge, Chrysler products. I was using it on Ford products. When I owned my Grand Prix, I wasn't using Valvoline. I was using Castro. When I owned my Ford Taurus, when I was engaged and my lady had a Ford Taurus, I was using Valvoline. As a matter of fact, when we were together, we went through 3 Ford Tauruses. And it's not because it kept breaking down, because at that time, I knew how to do basic maintenance. I changed the oil, I changed the spark plugs, I did all that stuff myself. So we kept the car up. But as our income improved, we wanted a little better. So instead of going out trying to buy some exotic luxury car, we just bought a newer model of what we already were accustomed to. We had an old beat down Ford Taurus. We kept that running. She wanted to sell it. Well, okay, all right. So she sold that, and we got a newer Ford Taurus. The last Ford Taurus that we owned was I believe a 2004. I rather liked that one. Of course, not all relationships last forever, but I got the car in the divorce, so to speak. So I ended up with the car. Yeah. It rode pretty nice. I never really had problems out of that engine, as long as I was doing the maintenance, making sure the oil was changed. But I used the Valvoline. Fast forward to a few years ago, I get a Chevy Malibu, and now I'm burning oil, and it's not dawning on me. I can't figure out for the life of me why I'm burning oil. It wasn't until this year when I started watching this guy talk about how some oils don't play nice with certain engines. It didn't make sense to me, but he's a professional. He does this all the time. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm missing something. So I started watching more of his videos. This guy's on to something. Because as I think back to my previous experiences, it starts to click. It starts to make sense. Now, some people may say, "Oh, well, you're not supposed to mix the oils," and some people say, "Well, as long as it's the same viscosity, it shouldn't matter." Then some people will say, you shouldn't mix them because the additive package in one oil may be different from the other oil. I don't know. But to keep this video from being any longer than it already is, we're going to pick up where we left off later. I'm going to go ahead and clean up, and I'll see you guys out on the road.